Iowa landing another small-town kid from the state of Iowa for its class of 2024. More on the commitment of a young man from Monticello in a moment. But first, a reminder to please subscribe to the channel. Please hit the little like button, the thumbs up button, if you've not already done so. I know we've got hundreds, thousands of people watching these videos at times. Need more likes. Helps the algorithm, helps this channel to grow. So please do that if you have not already done so. Also want to thank our sponsor for the show, Under the Kitchen on Facebook. Check out Under the Kitchen. Randy Engel doing tremendous artwork, original Hawkeye artwork, some of your favorite athletes in print, authentic artwork for your favorite Hawkeyes. Reach out through Facebook. Visit Under the Kitchen on Facebook for authentic Hawkeye art. So appreciate Randy Engel once again sponsoring this show. But the news on this Saturday is the commitment of a Mr. Preston Ries, and I'm hoping I'm pronouncing his last name correctly. And it's hard for me to validate that because here's a kid who has really flown under the radar, another one for Iowa. Now, he is on the radar of some major programs. Don't get me wrong. Nebraska offered, Iowa State offered, Wisconsin was in on him, according to Rivals. But Ries, a linebacker, quarterback in high school. I mean, Monticello is a pretty small community if you're familiar with that area of Iowa. And you watch him on tape, he's just a really good athlete. He attacks the gaps well on defense. Certainly, he's patient, and you need that if you're a linebacker. One of the more patient linebackers that I can remember ever under Kirk Ferentz was a small-town kid from Decorah, Josue. And I'm not saying that Preston Ries is going to be the next Josue, but he does show really good athleticism. He's a really good basketball player. But he'll be coming here as an athlete, likely a linebacker, but he's got some flexibility. Look at his profile for 2024. He's sitting right now, still a couple years left of high school. He's sitting at 6'2", 200. Maybe he shoots up another inch or two and becomes a possible tight end candidate if they're locked and loaded at that position on defense. But three-star kid, according to Rivals. Again, some solid interest out there. Just a very physical, well-rounded kid. Now, the one thing we have to remember, Iowa does a really good job identifying talent, and they identify it everywhere. I mean, think of a guy like John Nestor from the Chicago area. Certainly, that's a much bigger community than Monticello, for instance, but it just shows you the recruiting power and the ability by Seth Wallace, Phil Parker, Kirk Ferentz to identify this talent early. And again, when you're offering a kid who's class of 2024, and we've seen this trend now, and I'm not saying that Iowa State and Nebraska are playing copycat. Iowa State actually offered before Iowa did, but we're seeing Iowa really winning some of these battles in 23 and 24. So this is good news. Again, physically looks the part with a couple of years left of high school, and to be able to exercise the patience needed to play that linebacker position and yet attack defensively. And again, athletic enough to be able to make plays in the backfield. It's a good get, but we're just going to have to see how he progresses. It's hard to, I really admire, again, Seth Wallace and these guys for being able to identify talent this early, because it's hard, especially when you're taking into account that he's playing at an okay high school level. Again, Monticello, not competing against the juggernauts in the state of Iowa, but yet Iowa's had success identifying guys. We mentioned Josue. Certainly, I look at a guy like Aaron Graves, who won a championship at Southeast Valley near Gowrie. That's not a great level of high school football, but I have no doubt Aaron Graves is going to be a stud here. I think a lot of schools would love to have him this year as a freshman. So congratulations to Preston Ries. I hope I'm pronouncing his last name correctly. Congratulations to the Iowa coaching staff. I've seen some metrics here early that indicate that Iowa, from a recruiting standpoint, is maybe top 5 in the country right now for that class of 2024. Now, that's going to change. A lot of schools just don't have a lot of commitments. What's ironic about this is that people perceived Iowa to be behind for the class of 2022. Remember how long it took to kind of get that class going? Aaron Graves was sitting kind of by himself during that pandemic as the only commitment. And then, finally you had some other guys jump on board. But that not the case with 23 and 24. Iowa in good shape early and positive momentum. Matt Campbell, the perception from some of the people on the outside was that Matt Campbell was going to be able to come in here and dominate the state of Iowa. He has not done that. Class of 2024, Iowa is dominating the top of the state of Iowa, at least. And some interesting, too. I mean, you're always going to have some guys who played quarterback in high school. When you're targeting some kids from smaller schools, naturally, a lot of those kids will have played quarterback because they're the best athletes on the team. And so we see that with Ries. We saw it with Alex Moda, who's played a lot of quarterback. So just a note, I'm not saying any of these guys are going to end up being quarterbacks at Iowa, but I think it's always helpful when you have a former quarterback like an Alex Mota or a Marvin McNutt. You can run different things. Certainly, Alex Mota's playing receiver. I would think that you could be a little bit more innovative with, wide receiver sweeps and whatnot, and possibly a double pass, that type of deal. And certainly, again, Ries will probably end up playing defense, but it's always interesting to see the type of athletes that Iowa's targeting. And right now they're offering these small town kids early, which tells me they have a lot of confidence in their development and where they're headed. So we'll just have to wait and see. Iowa, as I say, every recruiting video for these 23, 24 kids will have to continue to recruit them, because there's no reason to think some of these bigger programs, the Notre Dame or even a Michigan or Michigan State, these kids continue to fly up in the ratings. There's no reason to think those schools won't try to swoop in. Aaron Graves committed early, stayed true to his pledge. He is the epitome of a loyal Hawkeye recruit. But this is the day and age where these young men are going to be wishy-washy, so you got to continue to recruit. But credit to everyone involved in Preston's recruitment, and credit to him. Boy, that's a great thing for that small community of Monticello to be able to earn an offer at such a young age, and he'll be in Iowa City in 2024. Appreciate you tuning in for yet another edition of the show. A reminder, please hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, and I will talk to you soon.